Hold on a second here. Oh, there we go. Hello! It's a big week. Schmoedown Spectacular 6, the Super Bowl of movie trivia.
Now, for those of you who've spent your lives watching movies, the Super Bowl is like the Schmoedown Spectacular, except with football.
Football? Football? What's a football?
It's Monday Movie Nonsense.
And welcome to Movie Nonsense, happening every Monday right here on the Movie Guys YouTube channel. We're on Twitch. I think we're on Twitch. I don't think the numbers support that, but we're also on Facebook, and we're all about nonsense. You know that. If you've watched us here, or if you've watched us at themovieguys.net, if you've seen our live shows, listened to our podcast, watched us on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown, then we're all about nonsense. So whatever inspires us is pretty much what this show is going to be. Whatever nonsense we feel like doing that week, you'll find it here. And if you want to find us, please follow at The Movie Guys, just for a bit of housekeeping. We always like to put that out there. That would be Facebook, that would be Twitter, that would be Instagram. And, of course, you can always just search the internet. You can search Google or Ask Jeeves or Bang! I don't think things are around anymore.
Probably not, but that drop is.
I'm not letting that go.
I'm not letting that go.
Tell your friends, like and subscribe, share posts, all that nonsense. Now, we again have a guest.
We do. We know people, Paul. We're not the shut-ins as some people might think. And if you're watching this show, you're likely aware of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. It's pro wrestling, but with movie trivia. There are champions with big belts, and just like pro wrestling, it has its own WrestleMania with all the belts and championships on the line. And our next guest will be playing for one of those belts on Saturday, December 4th at the Globe Theater. Let's see, we got our little advertisement. There we go. Saturday, December 4th at the Globe Theater. He will be playing three-time Innergeekdom champion Mike Kalinowski. Please welcome the next Innergeekdom champion of the world, from the dungeon, Robert Parker.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the show. Thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah, of course, dude. I've been looking forward to this all 2 days.
Yeah, we're not known for thinking well in advance of what the show's going to be about.
I know.
You don't want to be told in advance, hey, we'd like you on this nonsense show, do you?
Yeah. No, you don't need that kind of heads up.
Yeah.
Well, I think much like the Movie Trivia Schmoedown, preparation, I know everyone's preparing for, but I think there should be a version where it's pop quizzes. You just find out the day before, you're playing, or an hour before, you're playing in an hour. It's your specialty division.
Find you two people next to each other in line at a movie. Hey!
Yeah.
Hey, give you some questions.
Throw a camera in their face and get it
off
done.
You go. Yeah. This training nonsense. But that being said, Robert, this is really the finally realized goal of 2 years in the Schmoedown, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely something that since day one I've sort of been looking forward to, and I was hoping it would happen sooner, but better late than never. So I'm glad to finally be there.
Yeah, I remember at the draft at the Comedy Store, it was a Dungeons pick. I'm like, well, Kaiser likes me. This would be great. Robert Parker. I'm like, who the
hell is Robert Parker?
I think I've already been picked by that. Maybe not. I don't remember. It was close.
I was not picked. And then I went to the den. But you, right. So he had high hopes for you and stayed with it. And lo and behold, here you are.
Yeah, just you got to grin and bear it sometimes with that crew, but we got through it eventually. Yeah, I'm glad. Like I said, it has been a long time coming, and my relationship with Kaiser and Witt and everybody I've been very fortunate in the friends that I've met through the Schmoedown, so that's for sure.
Yeah.
And you have I don't even know. Have you done a live show yet?
Yeah, I did the
you did the Cantina, didn't you?
The Cantina,
yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
The last Cantina match of this year was the IG tournament final.
That's right.
So I played in that against Saul. But besides that, like I haven't done a theater show. Well, I was like there in Atlanta and I did a promo, but I haven't played a match on the theater stage yet.
Correction, in Atlanta, you jumped on stage, jerked the microphone.
Whatever that was, I remember that.
Out of the hand of
Brad, I think.
Brad, and then addressed the crowd. How nervous were you at that moment? That was your big moment on stage, but you've got to act in a completely cocky manner, grabbing the microphone, and everybody's just like, "What the hell?" You had everybody against and for you, but
right.
How did that feel?
My biggest wish that day was that I had brought the suit, because I was just there in like the clothes that I had worn to the event.
Right.
I was just there to watch. Like I had no idea that it was just like an hour before the show started, and Christian was like, "Hey, let's do this thing."
Got an idea.
I had no idea. Yeah, that was a very pop quiz kind of thing, but
wow.
It was a lot of fun. I don't know. My biggest fears were that I was just gonna biff the jump and like land, like catch my foot and just land face. I think that would have been funny as hell. That would have been hysterical if I had just biffed it. So luckily I made the jump, but that's what I was most worried about for sure.
You're spry. A lot of people don't give you that compliment. You're very spry.
Yeah, but I got little legs. I don't. There's not a lot of power there.
But you have 8 of them.
Right.
Yes.
Right. When combined. Yeah.
Was that always your nickname, by the way, the spider, because of Parker?
Actually,
obviously.
Yeah. I ever since I did Taekwondo for like many years when I was a lot younger, and like everybody on the team had nicknames, and mine was always Spider, or it was just Parker. Like I haven't. Most people in my life that have been like my acquaintances, not like super, super close friends, but just like people who know me through whatever Schmoedown Taekwondo, like they don't even know that my first name isn't Parker. Like I only have gone by like my last name or the nickname of Spider for the last 15 years. So yeah, that's people have always called me that.
That is a funny thing about the Schmoedown. I get used to calling people their real names, and I think I was trying to add. We were doing Gucci show, Gucci and Kaiser, and I was trying to advertise it on Facebook, and I was like, "What's Gucci's real name?" Like I really just sat there for a second. I was like, "I can't," because I have to type it. I can't think of it.
Yeah.
And most people don't know John Kaiser.
Right. John Kaiser. Yes, exactly.
Or the Kaiser. He's not. John is like your 3rd, 5th, 10th choice.
Imagine if he did change his first name to and he was just the Kaiser.
The Kaiser.
That'd be dope.
I've been saying for years, and I think I got to do it next year. I got to get that guy a Kaiser helmet, like a World War I German with a big point,
with the spike on top. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I used that in one of my promos. I was like, "Come on, guy, why you have that name if you don't have the whole thing?"
Yeah, get with it.
So in the show, we always talk about what's coming out, and of course, we have tons of bits, and we talk about what we've seen. And this one of the big trailers this past week was beyond a trailer.
The
prologue for Jurassic World Dominion. Now, Robert, is this like, oh man, Jurassic World Dominion, or is this like, shit, more stuff I got?
Another thing to learn.
Yeah. Leaning towards the second one. And that's mainly just because I don't really like the Jurassic World movies, like both of the first two. I think those are for me, those are the worst 2 movies of the franchise. Like, I just have no love loss for either of the Jurassic World movies. So I'm like, well, they're just doing it again. And I do not have high expectations for that movie.
Yeah. There are some movies, and I mean, I like to say that I like all movies. There's a way to like most movies. I always say there's 5 movies I hate and one whose name I won't even mention. But the Jurassic World, what's the second one called?
Fallen Kingdom.
See, this kid's going to win a belt. Ding. Correct. That one just is one of those ones like the Transformers one with the first Wahlberg one. I'm just like, they are technically bad movies, but there is an artistry to what they're doing. Like the second Jurassic World, once they got to that mansion with the millionaires and you realize that they were getting, because that's 2 movies really. It's the first part is on the island. Second part is a haunted house movie with dinosaurs. And Paul's been seen movies with me where I just start laughing, and it's not funny, but just the premise setup, when all those millionaires start pulling in, I go, oh my God, they're going to auction off dinosaurs in a mansion, and I just started laughing because how perfect that premise was. Yeah.
Well, we think the whole movie, 'cause we saw that together. We'll take an alternate view on this, Robert. We were like the whole time going, this is going so nuts. If he sticks the landing, I like it. And he stuck the landing, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he showed us stuff he'd never shown before because the first part was on the island, but we never had a volcano, so that was all really interesting.
Right.
And then all the stuff on the land. And then I think all hell breaking loose is something we've wanted for a long time, and it didn't quite break loose enough in San Diego in the Lost World. And now with Dominion, I mean, they're promising just madness, bedlam, and chaos with dinosaurs roaming every civilized part of the world you can imagine. I'm in, you know? I mean, J.A. Bayona wrist, and I thought was may not have been rewarded by critics in the box office quite like the previous, but he got me as a fan. I like him anyway.
Right.
Trevorrow's back. Is this Trevorrow or?
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point. I should bring up. Colin Trevorrow is making Jurassic World Dominion, but oddly enough, Rennie Harlin is making Jurassic World The Beginning at the same time. That's a deep joke, everybody.
That is a deep cut joke. Boy, if you appreciate that, give us a subscription, hit the alarm bell, because if you see what Paul just did there, then you should be watching the show all the time.
I know who Rennie Harlin is, for what it's worth.
Well, Parker, you see, there were 2 Exorcist movies came out at the same time, which I have yet to dig into this, but this is insane. They had the same script, and one is directed by Rennie Harlin, and one is directed, like, why this happened on Earth, but one is called Dominion. Yeah.
And they both have the same crew. And like actors, it's weird. Like many of them crossed over. It's in the sets. It's all bizarre.
I got to watch those because that is just fascinating. You want to watch a clip of Dominion here? I pulled a couple clips.
As many as we can get away with without being tagged.
I tried to keep them short. I mean, come on, a drive-in. It's so great.
When I saw the drive-in, I honestly thought you were punking me. I thought you were like, oh, here's like a random clip of Dominion, and then it's just like this kid walking through the drive-in. I honestly thought you were just screwing with us.
Oh, we'll have to do that more often, actually. Here's a clip, and then just show something completely different. That sounds like something we'd do.
The old Paul Rudd bit. Yeah, Mac and me.
Right, Mac and me. But there was a nice reference a lot of people pointed out. I don't know if you... yeah, thanks, Garth. Yeah, we try and keep them short here. But of course, there's a nice reference when it exits the theater. I'm sure everyone caught that. You'll see it on the marquee here.
Keep it steady!
Well, American Graffiti and Flash Gordon was playing there. Yeah.
That's fine.
And Trevorrow didn't get to make a Star Wars movie, right? So that's probably a little heartbreaking joke there for him.
90% of them don't get to make a Star Wars movie, despite the announcements.
That's
the percentage of people who do get to make Star Wars movies and the percentage of people who don't get to make Star Wars, it's very imbalanced.
Yeah.
Rian Johnson's the trilogy, the Game of Thrones guys, Waititi. I mean, I don't think you see movies from any of them. Yeah. But Chris Pratt does return, and he voices some of the dinosaurs, which people are already upset about on Twitter. That's a joke.
That was good. That one got me. That one I knew.
The band's getting back together. We got Goldblum, Dern, and Neil. Everyone else is either a dead character or dead actor. So I think they've pulled in everyone they can for.
Wait, Goldblum returns?
As he did in the last one, yeah.
Neil returns?
And now Neil and Dern, yeah.
Wow. That's Dern's first time to return. Oh, no, she has
She's in 3.
Yeah, she has an appearance, right. There's like a phone call or something, I think.
Yeah, she's in a couple scenes of 3, 2 or 3 scenes, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, that's really cool. That's exciting. Parker, I don't know if you know this, but somehow in between, when Paul and I used to do a show where we covered every trailer that came out, or Paul and me and Karen and Bart, we had the original show. And so, I always knew everything that was happening in movies. And then during the downtime between that show and our sort of current shows we're doing, I didn't watch a lot of trailers. So I actually got to go see Blade Runner 2049 and was surprised in real time that Harrison Ford was in that movie.
Whoa! You didn't know? Oh, that's amazing.
That made up for a lot of things that have been spoiled. But that was like, I was like,
a good one.
Holy crap.
That's awesome.
You missed a poster too. That's shocking. Hard to believe.
That's true. Is he on the poster? I only.
He is. Yeah.
I don't know.
But see, there were other posters too with just the small
There's a couple-
figure.
yeah, that's the poster that I'm
I
most
know the
familiar with. Is just the one him in the sandstorm, like with the yellows and reds. I don't.
That's
remember.
the one I'd
there,
seen.
there probably was a poster that was like
Yeah.
more reminiscent of the original one that he's on, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just like, that was. And when they started leading up to this, and I was like, wait a second. Is he really? Because I mean, there was a long time where Harrison Ford was like, I'm not revisiting any of my old stuff. Didn't want to be in any. Well, I mean, I don't think he was asked to be in the prequel trilogy, obviously, but the idea of him going back to Star Wars was impossible, according to him in interviews. So I just thought that's just something he'd never revisit either, because he had a terrible time on the original movie. He hated it, But he's a grump.
Yeah,
He's a grump, but we love him.
We do.
Now, Robert, no doubt we're keeping you from studying right now as you
right.
be going over trivia questions for this Saturday's big time match, right? So while we have you on air, why don't we study and have you on the show at the same time?
sure. Yeah, Whit's always texting me questions, getting my reps in, as I call it. Yeah, he's
and I felt
helping that aspect.
I felt bad having you on the show because I'm like, you know what, Parker's got to study, and Paul and I were like, you know what, I'll tell you what, we'll divide our time, we'll talk a little about Spectacular, but we'll actually ask some questions here, so we'll get a study session in, okay?
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Now let's do it.
All right, cool. We keep these questions, that some of them get pretty deep and pretty obscure, but we try to keep it light here.
Okay.
In the category of Batman, name all of the paintings the Joker defaces in Batman 1989.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Okay. So you have Edward Hopper's Approaching a City.
Ooh,
That's correct.
Figure with Meat, which is bacon.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Wow.
Gainsborough's Blue Boy.
Classic.
Indeed.
It's Mara's favorite. Woman Holding a Balance, which is Vermeer. There's a self-portrait of something. That's by Rembrandt. Self-portrait
Rembrandt,
age 63,
Yep.
something
That's
like that.
the one.
63, age of 63.
63?
Wow.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah, self-portrait.
How many? There's two more, I think.
There's two more. One's pretty famous, gets a hat drawn on it by one of the Joker's henchmen.
Right. Is that the one? Is that Two Dancers on a Stage by Degas?
By Degas. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Good job, Parker.
And then the last one is, I don't know the year, but it's Gilbert Stuart's portrait of George Washington that's unfinished. I want to say like 1796.
Oh, good. I mean, yes, you risk there because if you guess that wrong, we don't get it.
Right. In a
got
match,
the
you probably
date
just say the without the year so that you make sure.
Yeah,
it's
I think
safe.
some
Yeah.
people would say just Gilbert Stuart's unfinished portrait of George Washington, just to make
Right.
sure you don't get challenged,
Safer,
that sort
yeah.
of thing. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Robert Parker showing off on the show. I appreciate it.
But hey, thanks
Well,
for flexing
sometimes
for
you
us.
gotta flex. Yeah.
Well, Paul, I guess we should have written some harder questions than that one, but great job, Parker. I mean, obviously he's going to do really well. But we got some more questions here. Let's run through them here. In the category of animated, what 1986 animated movie is described by the following synopsis? Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye, Transformers, Robots in Disguise, Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons.
That is The Transformers, the movie.
There we go.
Whoa.
2 for 2. 2 for 2.
All right, in the category of Star Wars, what does the license plate on Luke Skywalker's land speeder say, Robert Parker?
You gotta have a
Is this the
eagle
one that
eye.
he sells to, what's his name, Whit?
Weoslia?
Is this what he sells to Weoslia? It's,
Yes.
It's Cool Attitude with the number 2.
It
That's
is.
correct. That
It
is
is
correct.
cool attitude. I mean, you're going to need a cool attitude if you want to go buy some power converters,
Right.
In the category of swashbuckling adventure, The Legend of Zorro was released in theaters October 28th, 2005. When was it removed from theaters?
November 5th, 2005.
That is absolutely correct. Give the man a point.
In the I got a plane going overhead. In the category of Alien Predator,
Okay.
who played Tonto in Alien vs. Lone Ranger?
Was that Harry Dean Stanton?
Bingo, that is correct.
Was
As in
Harry
everything,
Dean Stanton.
right?
Yeah, he is in everything, right? Him and Harry Dean Stockwell, I think, is
Right.
in the category of X-Men. Which of the following is an X-Men subtitle? Apocalypse, Annihilation, Retribution, Rise of the Lycans, Origins Toad, and Origins Toad.
I think Origins Toad, is still in production, so that's not released yet. So it's got to be Apocalypse.
Oh, good way to work your way through that one too, because Origins Toad, it's not out yet. Good job.
I think it's fun for fans when they see the process of how you arrive at an answer.
Right.
That was good.
True. Yeah.
In the category of Marvel, what is the tagline for 2003's Hulk?
Ooh.
Oh man.
Come on, you got this.
Don't make him Ang Lee. You wouldn't like him when he's Ang Lee.
That is correct.
Man, it's just,
nice.
You're on fire, man.
Very good.
Wow. Okay. All right. In the category of Transformers, which 2014 Transformers entry won Mark Wahlberg his 8th Mark Wahlberg of the Year award? Which, it's not an easy win. It's 99. He won his first Mark Wahlberg of the Year for Three Kings, beating not only himself in The Corruptor, but also Donnie Wahlberg in The Sixth Sense. So that's
right. So this is his 8th. Transformers: Age of Extinction.
That is correct. Correct.
Jeez,
Mark Wahlberg of the Year.
I'd hate to be Kalinowski for a number of reasons, but mostly Saturday.
Right.
In the category of Marvel, we went to another Marvel. Name a Ioan Gruffudd.
Mr. Fantastic.
That is correct. That is a Ioan Gruffudd.
That is correct.
Even though Griffith is spelled with 2 D's at the end. So,
yeah.
Well, he's Welsh.
Yeah. That makes me repronounce Elmer Fudd, maybe, I think, or something like that. Elmer Fudd.
Can you imagine Elmer Fudd?
In the category of release dates.
That'd just be silly, Robert Parker. That would be silly. You're getting silly.
Yeah. Just nonsense.
Warner Brothers would never.
Yeah. We stop at nonsense here. Silliness, leave that for another podcast. In the category of release dates, what was the release date of Carrie-Anne Moss?
These are 3 names that haven't gone together that well since Mary Louise Parker.
Oh, yeah.
And her 3 names is actually why they call her Trinity.
Oh, I didn't know that.
1999.
1999 is correct. She was
correct.
What is that? The Matrix and Memento. Yeah, same year. So that was when we got Carrie-Anne Moss.
Right. That's when she was released.
I like Carrie-Anne Elwes. Elwes? What is it? Yeah. All right. In the category of directors, which of these directors' names did I make up? Olivier Megaton, Timur Bekmambetov, Nimrod Antal, or Doofus Kalishnikov?
Better question. Are Armored, The Red Siren, and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter actually real movies, or did we all imagine them?
That's actually a pretty
That is both a question and the answer. Very nice. Very good. Well done.
Doofus Kalishnikov, for those playing at home, was the incorrect answer. Incorrect. Not a real name, although I haven't checked IMDb today. In the category of Star Wars, what career did R5-D4 go on to after the motivator malfunction on the Lars farm cut short his career in moisture evaporating on a desert planet?
I think he actually got his motivator fixed and then went on to be a motivational speaker himself as a droid.
That is correct. That is correct. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that.
Thomas Harper doesn't know that.
Let's go back to Star Wars.
Let's
go back to comic books, specifically in the category of dead comic book dads.
Oh, that's
There's
a lot of questions in that category.
How did Bruce Wayne's uncle die?
Not often
Bruce's
covered.
uncle.
Not often covered in the movies.
He tripped on a puddle full of pearls and hit his head and died that way. He didn't recover from that fall.
That's correct.
That's correct. We're looking forward to hopefully seeing that in Joker 2. I don't know if we will.
Right.
Yeah, I want to see his uncle slip on that puddle full of pearls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are the alleys, if they had just fewer pearls in them, it wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Yeah,
He'd still have an uncle.
Yeah.
Right.
And who are you going to go after for vengeance after that happens? I mean, Same criminal element that put those pearls in that alley.
Right. I got an uncle. I'm not mad at anybody. Yeah, I mean, what kind of movie is that?
No.
It's a bad story.
It's a bad story. Yeah, and that's why they never went with it. In the category of Nicolas Cage, what is Nicolas Cage doing in Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance?
That's an outstanding question.
What is happening there?
I want to say paying off his tax debt.
That is absolutely what he's doing.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Filed for bankruptcy late 2000. Yeah, the timeline works out.
The timeline works out. I like how you worked that out there. That's good.
Now you're going to have to know this. This might be now. I remember when Swashbuckling Adventure was first spun, and the Schmoedown was like, "Oh, we got all these, right?" But now it's been spun a while, so you never know what you're going to get.
It's getting deep.
So I'll give you this question: in the category of Swashbuckling Adventure, what is the name of Indiana Jones' whip?
Ooh, I don't even know if that's mentioned on screen. That's a deep cut.
Declan.
That's correct.
He gets it right. Another one right.
Yeah.
Declan the whip.
I don't know where Lucas came up with that one, but
but you'll never watch the movie the same way when you realize.
No. Once you know it, yeah.
I think that was his cat. His cat.
We named the cat Declan. We named the cat Declan.
Right.
In the category of Star Trek,
Yeah,
that's true. This might be on the test. This 2013 entry in the Star Trek franchise was the second big screen adventure of the Starship Enterprise, unless you count the other 10.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
Correct. Yeah.
Used to be the even-numbered movies were the best with Star Trek, but I think they switched that up with the new series, right?
Yeah, they flipped that around, which is good. Bring something fresh.
In the category of Name That Movie, Indiana Jones and James Bond fight spaceships in the Old West.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't want to see that?
That'd be $80 million in tickets they didn't sell to break even.
Fair.
Cowboys and Aliens.
Correct.
That
is correct.
In the category of non-buckling adventure, please identify the G.I. Joe Retaliation code name in this list of sexual positions. Tunnel Rat, Jelly Donut, Chili Dog, Rear Admiral, or Glass Bottom Boat. I mean, twist my arm to research this. I mean, anyone who liked Crazy Rich Asians, give this a day in court. Same director.
It is.
Is it Rear Admiral?
It is Rear Admiral.
I mean, that was like 100%. What is the opposite of swash? Anyway, I guess it doesn't buckle. Your adventure doesn't buckle.
Swish?
Swishbuckling?
Swash? Swishbuckling?
I mean, that was amazing. Margie, you didn't miss one. You got 100%. I mean, I think you're going to do great. I hope these questions get asked unless Mike Kalinowski watches the show. But I think I can say with a great deal of certainty that neither is likely.
Yeah. Let's do one more segment with Parker before we let him go watch The Phantom over and over in an activity some would describe as a circle of hell. Let's do what did you see this week?
What did you see this week?
Now, Robert, some might urge caution about divulging what movies you are watching this week because of opposition research, in case anyone came across this show. Someone from Corruption could be watching right now. But,
I can't picture those Bob Falfas crashing Dungeons and Dragons night at Paul's basement here.
Well, that's true.
Reveal whatever you're comfortable with, Robert.
Yeah, just whatever you're comfortable with, okay?
No, I really don't mind, honestly, revealing what I've been watching. I hope that they're watching the show so they can hear this. Honestly, I'm going to win either way. I'll give you everything that I've watched in the last week.
Oh, man. What a big flex. Okay, all right.
Okay.
So what have you been watching this week, Parker?
So I have... I got the list here. I have The Postman, Uncommon Valor, Species 3, Song of the South, Black Hat, Fear of Black Hat, Cat in the Hat, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, and then The Avengers. 1998.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, get on that, Kalinowski. Get on this.
Thank you for stopping by, Robert Parker, and good luck. It's Robert Parker, everybody. Robert Parker.
Thank you very much for having me.
Go to the Schmoedown Live, grab yourself a ticket, and check out his big match this Saturday, along with 4 other big matches and whatever the hell else they come up with. There's probably going to be reveals for the new season, storyline advances. It'll be fun.
Yeah, right on.
Absolutely. I think everything should have the tagline, "It'll be fun."
It'll be fun. Trust us. Trust us. It'll be fun.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Have a fun time.
All right, Parker. Nice seeing you.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.
All right, take care. Good guy. Good guy.
Good guy. Good golfer.
Good golfer. Good guy. Good golfer. There's a reference to the.
There's a reference to our show that only we're laughing.
Movie Trivia to Joel Murray on the Movie Trivia.
Oh yes,
the movie showcast, not the Movie Trivia showcast.
He's wished off by the crowd, the gang's going crazy. They're rooting for him, I guess. And there we go. So, all right. Yeah. Well, so what did we see this week, Adam?
What did you and I see this week?
Enough goofery. What have you seen?
Enough goofery. I got to see, I've been very busy, but it came to 2:00 yesterday afternoon, and I was like, Batman Returns. I could feel a tremor in the force that when something good's playing at the New Beverly. I was like, Batman Returns is playing at the New Beverly, and I just knew last week Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles played at an afternoon matinee, and I was like, no, I'm going to get some work done. Did I get any work done? I got no work done. So yesterday I'm like, I'm going to see Batman Returns, and man, that movie's nuts. When's the last time you've watched that movie, Paul?
Yeah, decades, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you would be amazed at how nuts that movie is. First of all, it is adapted from the concept art for Batman Returns. They just get to these Tim Burton drawings as many times as they can, and then sort of talk in between things in order to give an excuse to get to the next one. Like the Catwoman or the Catwoman's or the Penguin's lair, like where he's running for mayor. Random ass thing, running for mayor. They even have to make all these weird excuses of like, well, I know, because they had said at Christmas, and they're like, well, I know elections are in November, and it's like, why did they have to have him run for mayor in this movie? And there's this beautiful office, and then upstairs is Edward Scissorhands' house. And you're like, it absolutely makes no sense, except that you had to get to that Tim Burton production art up there in the bedroom. It's the movie is just I mean there might not be a crazier movie. If you've told me David Lynch made this movie, I'd go, yeah, I could see that. I would give you very few arguments. But I mean, also a pretty bad movie. That's a pretty bad movie, except that it swings for the fences in some insane ways. I don't know. But it's always a joy for me because I have the memories of always loving that movie, and I love that run, and I just love seeing Tim Burton go full Burton,
Yeah, and you forget Walken's in it as Max Shrek. If you wanted to add weirder on top of all,
right?
That,
Walken, De Niro, I mean, and I'll tell you what,
De Niro?
Man. I mean, De Niro. What did I mean?
DeVito.
DeVito. Well, they were switched at birth. Oh no, that's someone else. But now that would be funny. But yeah, exactly. I mean, and Walken is given the Walken performance you dream of. I mean, he's just and DeVito disappears into that role. I have to remind myself constantly that that's Danny DeVito in a weird way, even though that could be nobody else but Danny DeVito. But the makeup and everything, Michelle Pfeiffer, as soon as she turns the switch, which again, I don't know, cats eat her fingers, and now she's a completely different person. I mean, that's the movie never delivers to you that you're going to have to take your brain off a little bit and just enjoy what's happening in this movie, because the movie keeps trying to make excuses for the things that are happening, like the running for mayor and things like that. But everybody's given the performance of a lifetime and delivering pretty crap lines. I mean, it's a lot of it's an odd movie.
How does that end? I forget. Where's the finale of? I can't remember.
The finale is on the underground lair in the Arctic zoo exhibit.
Oh, right. Okay.
Where the Penguin has raised this whole Charles Manson family worth of circus folk. I mean, it's so Tim Burton, including Vincent Schiavelli as an organ grinder.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, with a Gatling gun for his organ, and it's just like, why not? I mean, that movie is why not the movie. I will say one thing: they give a speech before it that somebody and the person that introduced it said, it would be nice if the current crop of superhero movies would get back to having this sort of freedom for the directors, to let the directors have this sort of freedom. I got to say, I disagree. This movie is evidence. This movie is evidence that they needed reining in. I think that the idea of having some standard for superhero action and storytelling has been good for the genre. This is evidence that it needed reined in, you know.
I've said many times that it's Feige over everything. So yeah, it doesn't matter who your director is, with a great producer guiding and leading the charge, you know, you're in good hands. Because again, they get name one. I mean, Peyton Reed directed The Breakup. He should do a superhero movie, and he's done 2 Ant-Man movies, and he's the right call, because that's Edgar Wright would have made an Edgar Wright movie, and it would have been a little much. Feige keeps it within the world of the MCU, and that guiding hand would, I think, to your point, would benefit more than the director's vision going out of control.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain critics' opinions that are just on autopilot, and I think one of them is that, like, we need more creativity in superhero movies. Like, there's nothing creative about Shang-Chi, you know. But I think you're right. Like, that's definitely a BS opinion, because from the very beginning, they got the guy from Swingers to do Iron Man. That's radical. DC's giving it to the guys did, the latest blockbuster or whatever. They're trying to, pack it with, named directors. And meanwhile, like James Gunn, you're going to give James Gunn $150 million to make a weirdo superhero movie? I don't know. I think the opinion that, these things aren't creative and he's, holding these guys down is it's unfounded. It's an autopilot critic's opinion. But.
Yeah, it sounds like from what you're describing, like we were all shocked, I think, when Schumacher came along and made those Batman movies just way out of control. Sounds like Batman Returns was the gateway, so it's not such a shock by the time we get to Crazy Town with Schumacher.
I think that is the thing that people didn't realize at the time was like, they're going to make a weird high concept version of one of these with all kinds of glitz and glamour or all kinds of like, non-realistic Batman. Like that, I think that was the complaint at the time. Was like, oh man, this one isn't realistic like the first two. And in the fullness of time, that opinion doesn't hold up. So you might as well like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, which I do.
Yeah, and then Joker is so real. It's like suffocating.
Yeah, it's suffocating, right? Exactly. It's so horrifying.
Well, speaking of critics, I forgot to share this graphic last week when we had a long talk with Mara Konopnik about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah. And I meant to share it because it's the epitome of everything today. And it's, of course, the Rotten Tomatoes synopsis of the critics' thoughts and the audience's thoughts. And there it is. That's everything, everybody. That's all you need to know about the critics in the movie.
There it is.
The critics are not in touch, not required, not necessary. Yeah. It's clear that Ghostbusters Afterlife is a very enjoyable movie, and it's clear that critics want to seem...
So Paul, you're saying on that graphic, the stat on the left is the people that got in for free, and the people on the right is the ones that actually left their house, paid money, sat down for 2 hours, and then
got excited.
Got excited. Okay. You know what? That tracks. I'm thinking that tracks.
That tracks. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw, and I didn't bring this up last week either. We get talking to Mara, next thing you know, 90 minutes passed like that. Yeah. But I forgot to bring up that I watched...
Much like we'll get to Free Guy. We'll talk about Free Guy today, right?
I hope not. Actually, just the one time I actually didn't bring my thoughts on it. But
okay.
So,
They're not on me. They're not on me.
They're the Matt Damon of, I didn't get to many movies. I went to Vegas over the weekend.
Okay.
For the first time in like a year. So I didn't get to any real films, but I did see parts of 2 movies.
Okay.
I heard that on Disney Plus Day, we didn't mention this when we talked about everything that Disney Plus Day delivered, but there are now 13 Marvel films uploaded to Disney Plus in what they call the Marvel IMAX expanded aspect ratio. So anytime a Marvel film was shot with IMAX, it now fills the screen as opposed to having the bars at the top and bottom that it used to have. So they found some sort of way to compress the films so you get more movie. And so I wanted to check that out with I turned on Captain Marvel. Let me see what this is like. And sure enough, for those scenes where they shot in IMAX, it fills the screen. Yeah, it looks bigger and better and more is going on. And of course, there's a lot of cool screen composition that you want to see and you don't miss out on. And and I don't think you're missing much on the sides either. It's just some way they put it together. People aren't stretched. They did a great job with it.
Yeah.
And I forgot Captain Marvel
rocks.
Bangs. That movie does not stop to take his foot off the gas for like the first 45 minutes until Nick Fury and Veers are in Poncho's bar, and he's filling her in. They're filling each other in on what they're all about and why she's there. And man, that's exciting. That first part of that. I'm excited to go back and watch the rest of it in the expanded aspect ratio IMAX.
Every Marvel movie gets better every time you watch it. And that the last time I watched that one, I was like, I want to watch this again, like right now, like the way I've run into the ground Captain America movies and the Avengers. Like I've watched those over and over and over and over. And there are some Marvel movies, surprisingly, that I've only seen like twice or three times. That's my version of once. But you know, like Captain Marvel's one of those where the last time I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this movie rocks, really rocks. And that would not have been the thing to bring up with Mara last week because she doesn't like this movie.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, for me, I remember coming out of it going, man, I missed Nick Fury. Like he was MIA for 4 or 5 movies, and so it's good to have him back. But this time I really got into the whole story of Veers and the
Veers
and everything. Yeah, wasn't that her name for this? Carol Danvers. Yeah.
Oh, Danvers.
But,
oh yeah,
I thought
General
it was all,
Veers.
I thought it was all very satisfying, and I can't wait to watch the rest of it. And good for Disney Marvel IMAX expanded aspect ratio is a good thing for if you have to watch a movie at home, and which you do once it's been out for 2 years. The other thing I wanted to mention was that's good technology. Bad technology. I didn't watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is a shame because I usually do every Thanksgiving. It's the best Thanksgiving movie. Yeah. But I did see it on TV when I was at the hotel at Vegas, so I watched it for a little while. And it's when Neil Page was getting his rental car, and he decides it's not there. So he's going to go back and yell at Edie McClurg with the greatest F-word laced monologue that you'll ever hear. And I know this monologue. I saw this movie a bazillion times. I know the monologue by heart. I'm ready for it. But I also noticed this is AMC. Now, I know they have Walking Dead on there, so they go crazy with the gore, but I don't think they're going to allow all these F-bombs. So I kept watching, and you know how we're expecting you mother flipping, we're expecting all that.
Right. Monkey fighting, Monday to Friday.
Use CGI now to move his mouth to say the words that they've now replaced in the piece, which is like, I can't remember.
Because you can't see him without knowing what he's saying over and over.
Yeah, right, exactly. So they've gone in and digitally made his mouth say these tamer, lamer words, and man, it was
weird.
Stupid. It was like just it's weird. Yeah, I mean it's good technology. Like, wow, you did a fine job of this thing that's just really stupid.
Yeah.
Just don't show the movie if you're AMC. Just leave that for HBO and other places that don't mind showing you the movie as it was made.
Yeah, or maybe cut that scene out. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I had time to watch more of it to see just how creepy and weird that is. Every time somebody swore, they just took their mouth now forms the words of like mother flippin' and mother Fletcher or whatever the hell else. Yes, way David McKay. It's ugly and it's no good. And
because there's just no way of not. There's no way of seeing someone silently go and not know what they're saying. Yeah. We know that from football. You look at the cut to the sidelines. You're like, coach had some words for his player. And he's like,
yeah, it looks pretty steamed.
Yeah, it looks pretty steamed. And you're like, I know what he's saying to that player right there.
Man, that was weird. And now they've got a way to just change the performer's performance to fit their stupid censorship. So they should just show Home Alone again and not worry about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Leave that for the big kids. It's rated R for a reason.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, true.
But lame. That's the lame report for the week.
That's the very upsetting report. Yeah, and that is the Thanksgiving tradition because there's only it's amazing. There's 1 billion Christmas movies, there's 1 billion horror movies, and 4 Thanksgiving movies. Although if you bring that up with the Schmoedown people, they'll go, well, there's this and this. But for most people, it's like there's, I think, the Robert Downey Jr. One where he comes home home
for the holidays.
Home for the holidays.
Saw that for the first time last year. It's fairly forgettable. I don't remember much about it. But it's charming enough, but
I guess I enjoy him and everything. Yeah,
but mostly Holly Hunter's movie, and I enjoy her and everything too. So it's good, but yeah, I couldn't tell you much of what it's about. To be honest.
Yeah.
But you said, where did you see the Batman Returns?
I saw Batman Returns at the New Beverly.
And there is a new calendar for the New Beverly.
There is. Here comes December.
Right.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
The new phone book's here! The new phone book's here!
Here it is, everybody.
Oh, here, let me see if I can pull it up on the way we did it last time here.
I can zoom, yeah?
Yeah, I can zoom in if I got the... But where is it on their damn website? Hold on a second here.
You have to search the...
Hold on, New Beverly calendar.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
This is production happening while the production is happening.
Oh, here it is. Okay, I found it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Here, let's see. Blow it up to full screen here.
Yeah, there it is anyway. Just I sent it to you.
Okay.
But I'll explain to people who don't know. The New Beverly Cinema is owned by Quentin Tarantino in Los Angeles, and he programs it with nothing but throwback movies, except for the occasional ones he's a big fan of. Like I think Last Night in Soho got a run at the end of November because he and Edgar Wright are good friends. So now December's calendar has come out, and this is all programmed by Quentin, and most of the time using his personal prints of these movies, or ones they'll announce at the top of the show if it was gotten from some vault somewhere.
Well, and they also have a really great underground of print collectors, you know, so that like they can find anything, which is just crazy.
So, you know, here, Red Rocket, the very first movie playing in 2 days, is a new film, but he must have gotten behind it for some reason, liked what he saw, and now that will be getting an advanced screening at the New Beverly if you want to see it beforehand.
Yeah, and what's really fun too is it's their Christmas calendar. It gets a little more Christmassy as it goes along, but Eyes Wide Shut is set at Christmas, which is a funny Christmas movie to show.
That's right, it is. I already have tickets for The Long Riders. I've never seen it. Wednesday.
Oh, wonderful.
If you want to hop in on that, I'm going with my friend Jeff. Adam, you're welcome to join. But that I've never seen it. That's all the brothers, right? You got a couple of Carradines, a couple of Quaids, a couple of Keaches.
And because of you, Paul, I got to work on a movie with David Carradine because you were busy and someone had hired you to be the boom operator on a movie called American Reel. And shortly after I'd met you, I think we must have met because that was like a March or something because it was freezing in Fort Wayne, Indiana. But I got to go hang out with David Carradine for a month, and boy, he talked about Long Riders.
Really?
Yeah. He would talk about two things, Long Riders and the one where he plays Woody Guthrie, which is the Long Highway or the
what is that?
No, that was his book, is The Long Highway. I can't remember right now, but he plays Woody Guthrie. So he would talk about the Long Riders because it's him and his brothers, you know, a 2-month-long shoot. And I heard the New Beverly podcast, the Pure Cinema podcast, which I highly suggest anybody listening to, because they run down the calendar. So I have a few facts that they brought up as well that I'll drop here. But also in the Long Riders is all the Carradine brothers, the 2 Quaid brothers, and there's another set of brothers in there as well.
Keaches.
The Keaches, right. Stacy Keach and Bob Keach. I can't remember. But I'll tell you when I'm going to be there, Paul, is the night before, the night of the Juggler and Ms. 45. I've never seen Ms. 45. This is a Abel Ferrara classic, gritty New York streets movie. And I have seen Night of the Juggler, which is another very gritty, you know, that 1975 shot on the streets of New York type movie. You know, Night of the Juggler's got all of that. So
I recognize the Ms. 45. I don't know the other one, so that'd be fun.
You know, it's funny. There's a movie called, and we have the right audience to probably recognize what I'm about to say. There was a movie called Terror in the Aisles. Do you know this movie, Paul?
Yeah, the horror recap anthology type.
Anthology. What a great idea!
About horror.
Yeah, they put Donald Pleasance they shoot special segments with Donald Pleasance and Murphy. It's you. What's her name? From all of I can't remember her name.
Or the guy she worked with.
De Palma. She was in all De Palma's movies. She did RoboCop. Nancy Allen, thank you. And they sit there and they talk about horror movies.
And the Woody Guthrie movie is Bound for Glory.
Oh, Bound for Glory.
I had to look it up, but
But I know Ms. 45 from that. So it's so funny that movie covers all these great clips. It's a great clip show of all these horror movies, and it's so fun to watch for like all these great moments, but there's a bunch of movies I never recognized in that, and year after year after year, I'll eventually catch one. I'll be like, oh, this is that movie from Terror in the Isles. But Ms. 45 is one of those that had a lot of clips in there because she is very gritty because it's this type of movie, but she is raped twice in a week, I believe. And she heads out for vengeance and has a much more sort of artistic version of Death Wish going on. Ms. 45. Oh, we got Pink Panther and Groundhog Day. Interesting pairing. We got Ingmar Bergman. I've still seen one Bergman movie. I don't know if I'm going to start my obsession with Ingmar Bergman with Fanny and Alexander, which is more of a biopic for him. But here we go into the Christmas stuff. Look at this. And the thing is, I got to go home for Christmas at some point, but I'm like, do I stay and watch Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night, and then go home?
Yeah, that's a great double feature.
Oh, isn't that a great double feature?
Christmas Vacation and Scrooged. I mean, and then It's a Wonderful Life in the Theater. I mean, come on. It's just great.
Yeah, Christmas in Connecticut. Remember the Night. And then I thought I knew all the Christmas horror movies, which there are not a ton of, but To All a Good Night and Don't Open Till Christmas, I've never heard of, and the guys on the Pure Cinema podcast raved about this one. Yeah. Pretty good stuff.
What is it, more horror? Is that what it says?
It's horror, yeah. That's holiday horrors.
I think Don't Open Till Christmas I've heard of, yeah. I don't know what it's about. And see, and there you go again at the end of the month, he's just playing more recent film. I mean, it will be a month old by then, but maybe they have a slower rollout. I don't know if it'd be in just big theaters when it opens this week. But that, it's that type of indie filmmaker he's going to give love to. Edgar Wright, Paul Thomas Anderson.
Right.
You'll see that those films get longer stretches. And apparently, do we know anything about when the Vista is going to open with Tarantino's programming?
No, I had a discussion. Oh, I ran into Andres Gallego at Batman Returns last night, which was cool, a Schmoedown friend. And we were talking about that afterwards, that we don't know what the plan is for that. Supposedly it's going to be newer movies in 35 millimeter. So anybody that strikes a 35 millimeter print, like Licorice Pizza here, or Gunpowder Milkshake, or Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho, these movies will get shown there. Anything that's in 35 millimeter, it's going to be 35 only. I know that, but it's going to be newer movies that are in 35 millimeters. So I guess we'll find out how many movies are getting 35 millimeter prints struck of them. I mean, does Marvel strike prints of 35 millimeter and I just don't know it? I guess we'll find out because they might show at the Vista.
Yes, important tip there from Garth if you're going to go see Eyes Wide Shut. And I'm noticing White Christmas is here. It's my girlfriend's favorite Christmas movie of all time, and we watched it last year, but maybe to see it in the theater would be a real treat. I should probably.
Well, along with The Bishop's Wife, too.
Be a big hero there, and which I've never seen. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen The Bishop's Wife either. And I've only seen White Christmas at home, and it doesn't grab me like a lot of the others, but boy, I bet if you're swept up for the full run time, and it's got all the feels,
And my girlfriend is working on Christmas Day, so look at that. I can go see Monkey Business Duck Soup double feature. Forget about it. I got my dick planned.
That's how fun would that be on Christmas Day? Oh, I'm so jealous. I will not be here. Oh, that's great. So that's the New Beverly.
The new phone book's here! The new phone book's here!
All right. What else did we see? Anything? Is it the New Beverly Report? Hey, we could get out of here in an hour, if we want. But we need to talk about some of the newer releases because the whole bunch of movies like Encounter, which I think is Riz Ahmed, The Hand of God.
I didn't pull any clips for this week for the trailers. I actually didn't get to the trailers. I was too busy prepping the little Parker thing there.
This is not unusual, though, that the week after Thanksgiving, they just let the Thanksgiving movies roll on. Ghostbusters will still be making money.
Right. And
it only dropped about 15 million from 40 to 25 in its second weekend. That's a good, I'm sucker percentages, but that's pretty damn good in terms of it didn't drop down to nothing.
Well, that's a family movie too, I mean, families are going to go see that, especially this one's got kids in it, and it's good, it's okay for the kids. It's not going to be too scary because it's Ghostbusters,
And House of Gucci overperformed. And then
really?
Encanto won the weekend. So there's 3 big movies out there. And I think that's why they put out Flea, which is a foreign documentary, but it's got a lot of
what's
praise.
Wolf?
Wolf is movie. It stars the guy, what's his name? James McKay. That's probably not it. The star of 1917, that Sam Mendes movie.
Okay.
And it looks like a very weird movie about a dude who, it's about a place
turns
where
into a
people
wolf?
who identify as animals can go and live. And he
not a horror movie.
Well, it gets weird, but it's not like a wolf. It's not a werewolf movie. So it's people who identify as animals.
All right. So the week after Thanksgiving, these aren't the Hand of God Encounter. I don't even know what those are.
So the one property that people might know, and they even was represented at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade with a float, is the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. More Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies.
Our old friend, Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah, we goofed on these when they were live action films. I think there were 3 of them. The first, then Roderick Rules, then Dog Days, and now they're doing the whole thing now as animated. So this will be the first animated Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie coming to Disney Plus here in the next week. And Adam, you have the press release there, don't you?
I do.
Let's read some facts about this movie. Just share with our audience what this is exactly.
And I'm glad you sent this because I would like to enlighten the people as to what Diary of a Wimpy Kid's all about. Because another adaptation of popular adolescent literature, as was the case with Where the Wild Things Are, or He's Just Not That Into You.
Yeah. This is the latest franchise to reboot because, like the works of Shakespeare, every generation needs their own Greg and Roderick.
This film is directed by Swinton O. Scott III, who wrapped the film after his stint playing the rich bad guy in an 80s movie.
I think the best way to get on your good side of this transaction is to say, we watched the trailer, now you don't have to. You're welcome. That's an odd thing to put in a press release. But
That is weird. It's almost like they wrote that for us. Here's the best summary we can come up with. You know that movie made by Nickelodeon that you don't know about? This looks like that. Yeah, they're very honest in these press releases.
And turns out Roderick is one of the most normal names of the cast I'm being reintroduced to for the first time. This film also features Chirag, Rowley, Manny, and Fregley, because the movie needed a sound dumber.
Back in my day, we had normal names for bands of troublemaking tweens, you know, Paul? Names like Chunk and Mouth, Data, Sloth, Ham, Squints, Yaya, Spanky, Alfalfa, and Buckwheat, you know?
So now you're all a little more well misinformed. So that's the press release. Well, they put some interesting facts in there. I don't know if I would have put on there. But speaking of facts, David McKay chimed in. George McKay is your lead from, I said James McKay, I think. Jim McKay was an old ABC Wide World of Sports broadcaster.
Wide World of Sports, that's right.
And then here's a fact. Garth says Amber from the chats was one of the people holding the Wimpy Kid float.
What?
Is there an Amber in the chat? Okay, well, I that's good to hear. That's good to know.
What? That's amazing.
I saw that. I watch every year. I get up and I watch the.
I know, me too.
The parade. For better or for worse, you know, a lot of times it's just not for me, but it's still fun to watch, even when it isn't. They just song after song.
Great background. Yeah.
They're singing every new song on the float. Like, here's a new one called "Wishes Come True," and you'll never hear the song again. Like, it's amazing that happens. But
it was.
That I don't believe it was the first year of that balloon, but it did look pretty cool.
But this year I kept turning it on, and but there's a lot of new balloons, and they're all like for these Nickelodeon shows and Disney shows. I mean, it's a kids' parade. It's like it's there for kids, you know. And as I was watching, I was like, "What's with all this like Disney stuff for kids in this parade?" And I was like, "When I was a kid, I used to love this parade." Oh.
Okay. So it's Amber and Maxwell, a couple of good friends of the Schmoedown.
We know. Oh, yeah, we know Amber, of course.
Yeah, that's cool.
So wait, Maxwell was holding a candy cane balloon? Oh my God,
I'll have to look up those photos.
So cool.
I love how Garth said he was one of the people holding the float. No, holding down. I'm sure there's a lot of this where you're like, ew.
Right.
Wimpy Kid until he's 70 feet long and pulling upwards. All right. Well, Adam, do we have any Ford report to talk about, or just?
We do. I brought up. I found there's the out right now. If you haven't subscribed to the Ford Fiesta podcast, the current episode that is out is from the Frisco Kid, with Harrison Ford and Gene Wilder. And this is a scene in which Gene Wilder has, and this film just kind of gives and gives. I think I've really been won over. I think Paul, if you listen to the podcast, halfway through, Paul's like, I think I like this movie now because there's so much Harrison Ford in it. But there's a lot of great clips to pull, so I'm going to keep doing Frisco Kid for the next few weeks here. And this I'm surprised was not the first one. If it had not been for him shouting 32 times in a row and pointing 15 times in a row in a scene, we probably wouldn't have covered this one first. The shot is in the trailer, and Gene Wilder goes over a cliff and dumps his horse into the water, and then Harrison Ford, to get away from the bandits, decides to do the same thing, leading to a drop that will show up for many years on this show. Harrison Ford saying something you've never heard before.
Damn me, if he can do it, I can.
Bring him out! Goddamn!
And that would be...
Oi, Gavalt.
So I can't wait till that's apropos of nothing, but I'll just play it right now.
Isn't he half Jewish according to the Adam Sandler song?
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's true. But obviously there's a lot of Jewish humor in that movie. They teach each other, he teaches him to say she, it. And so I didn't play the clip there, but when Wilder goes over, he goes, she, it. And then he comes over and goes, oh, give out, because they teach each other.
Yeah, it should be screamed by.
Yeah. But I got to say, Paul, just even in that moment right there, when he whips that horse and goes, yeah, and it sounds just like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, then it makes you feel good. This movie, there's so much good Harrison Ford in it.
That's a whole different beast.
Oh, it's amazing.
So then this is the garage where I'm often finding Harrison Ford artifacts like Indiana Jones. And so once again, I found the Indiana Jones Heritage movie photo cards unopened.
Oh, so wow.
I wonder at this point, should I just open them and look at them and enjoy them and stick them in an album or something? Or I think these are not from 1981. They're from...
No, that looks like that. I bet you that came out with Crystal Skull.
2008.
Okay.
And sure enough, they're wrapped in plastic that says Tops on it, so they're pretty official.
Yeah.
And I haven't played with them by now. Like, I have...
that sounds so fun to open up. Just open it up, put it out like it's... Like when you were a kid, you'd go to 7-Eleven or whatever, and there would be the... that thing would be flipped out or whatever, and we would beg for a quarter. I remember very specifically a family event, begging for quarters from my grandpa, and of course Grandpa's like, all right, you kids go. And we ran around the corner to get Empire Strikes Back cards, and then we came out in front of the 7-Eleven, and we sat down, and we see which ones we had, and then we went back, we added them to our collection, we traded some or whatever, and then begged Grandpa for another quarter. He gave it to us. We ran to 7-Eleven, we sat down, we did that all day long. It was the greatest time. So, we've always said, once you're an adult, you're like, I can eat Lucky Charms if I want to. Paul, you can now get all the Indiana Jones cards you want. I would open that up, put it up there, and whenever you walk past it, you're like, I think I'll open up an Indiana Jones card. And it's going to be so much fun, dude. How many cards in there? Oh, my gosh.
I know we're not doing the Murray Fiesta, but one other thing I found that I wasn't even aware that I had was a whole bunch of Ghostbusters trading cards and Meatballs lobby cards from the theaters.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got some, the treasures this garage holds.
Amazing.
But it's true. Like, I look at this now. This is a Bob and Doug McKenzie figure from McFarlane, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
It's awesome, but it's been in its case forever. The case is yellowing. It can't be worth much. Can it? I don't know. But
the thing is,
I got to take this out now and make a little display of them.
Dude, you got to make a display of Bob and Doug McKenzie. It's so rare that they made two SCTV characters into action figures. Like, you got, I have never kept an action figure in its case in my life. And I've never always opened it, and it's like the value of being able to play with it or even just hold it or put it on your computer or whatever is so much more than it being in some piece of plastic or whatever.
Well,
especially those two.
As we know from the Star Wars free-for-all, yes, the Star Wars figures thoroughly played with.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, but the other things I'm wondering, and I just forgot. I just sitting around. It's like,
oh man.
someone got me this, and I've never opened it up. It must be like the entire set too, the whole series.
Oh, is that the set or is that individual packs?
Can you give individual packs and have it be the set? You can't, can you?
No, those
random.
would be two different things. Does it say set or does it say, how many packs are in there? It would say it might be the set.
This is 24 packs, 5 cards with a stick of gum.
Okay. Oh, that gum's gonna be good.
It could be crunchy. Sequentially numbered parallels. Look for special inserts, autographs, sketch cards. They'll have movie shots, and then there'll be that one extra. I don't think there's Crystal Skull here too, so it's a win. It's a win all the way around.
Paul, I think you need to bring those Spectacular backstage and hand them out to people that are going on. It'd be a fun.
Give them away? Hell no! Open them up, sure. Give them away. And out
well, give me 1 pack for Parker. I'll give it to him as a good luck charm.
All right. Well, I think that is all. Go check out the Ford Fiesta wherever you can listen to podcasts. That's, of course, iTunes and Amazon, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, on and on and on. Yeah, Amazon Music. Oh, and here's an update. The Wimpy Kid, the Wimpy Kid balloon got blown into some trees. And that reminds me of the one time I went in person to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and Barney's leg got caught in a street lamp and it tore open and the place went nuts. They were like, yeah, like Barney. And,
You're right.
And his leg just started flapping like this the rest of the way down the street.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, hopefully Wimpy Kid survived. I don't know. He's wimpy. So okay.
Yeah. A new tradition. Back when we were kids, there was like 4 balloons. Like, here comes Snoopy.
And a reminder, we're here every Monday at 3, and we're at the Movie Guys on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook for all your daily jokes, links, and more nonsense. We put it up there. Ray Scalacci doing movie reviews for us. All of our crazy podcast appearances where we do stuff. I was recently on I popped into a den party on the Speaking of Schmoedown show. Where have you been, Adam? You're always everywhere doing these podcasts. Do you even remember?
Do I remember what?
Where you've been? Yeah.
Oh, where I've been? This week I haven't been on anything. I've been busy working on stuff for the Spectacular, actually.
I also appeared in the League of Cinephiles podcast as well.
Really?
These shows that follow the Schmoedown just keep popping out of the woodwork. I don't know half of them, but I went on there and we talked about it was all just like movie news and trailers and stuff, and it was fun. Yeah. Had a good time. So that'll post very soon.
Now, it's a great extended family, all these shows. And I'm already started to plan out shows that we're going on to. I got approached by the show we were on with Collision, where we discussed Collision.
Yes,
and then we also did the year in review last year. We're going to do the year in review again on January 6th, which is a funny bit. January 5th, maybe. That's just funny. The year in review, and there's only been 5 days in the year, but of course you read it and you assume we're going to be talking about 2021. Yeah. So they have good bits on that show. I like that. We've had a good time.
But thanks also to Steve Scholes for contributing jokes to the show every once in a while when those pop in, and that's it. Other than that, if you're coming to the Spectacular, maybe we'll see you.
We'll see you there. Yeah. Right. Oh, and thanks to Stephen Lewis, of course, for the movie trivia and many of the other running jokes that I say that are actually his, but I take credit for.
All right. Have Sting play us out. Play us out? What do you play us out?
Play us out? Play us out? Sting?
Football. What's a football?